Hey guys, how's it going? Solo back with another video. It is Thursday, it is Thanksgiving Day. I hope everybody is having a very happy Thanksgiving. If you're not in the United States, well then I just hope you're having a very nice Thursday. But because it was Thanksgiving, that meant the markets were closed today. So this is data obviously from the last trading day, which was yesterday on Wednesday. And I want to talk about Space Virgin Galactic because I think we are at a tipping point right now based on what I'm seeing on the technical analysis chart. So we'll do a couple things today. We'll look at obviously the graph and the charts on space, do some updated technical analysis. Also want to see if there's any updated news on Virgin Galactic in terms of their delayed test flights. So let's get right into it. Looking at the heat map here, this is how we closed the market Wednesday. You can see kind of a flat day, mixture of red and green on the board. Tech didn't move that much except for Amazon, which was up 2%. AMD also up 2%. You know, AMD, I think it wants to go over 90. It's slowly creeping up from the low 80s to now the mid 80s. I'm expecting maybe next week we'll get into the high 80s. And I think we just need one more catalyst, whether it's an analyst upgrade or some other good news coming out, like a stimulus bill, and that will send AMD to over $90 easily. Just my opinion, but that's not why we're here. Let's talk about Virgin Galactic here. So here's the graph for the day of trading on Wednesday. And you can see had another big day today. Around the middle of the day, it was up over 11%. We sold off a little bit. We did end up opening the day in the red actually. However, we closed the day up 8.6%. And you can see just in the last 5 minutes of after hour trading, we were up another 2.5% in after hours trading. So space is just literally and figuratively going to space right now. Let's just take a look at the weekly graph because look at these big moves space has had just in the past week. Let's look at the monthly graph. I mean, take a look at this. This is what you love to see, a graph that's just up and to the right. But let's take a look at the TradingView chart here because I saw something interesting when I was looking at it the other day. So this is tradingview.com. I get a lot of questions as to what software this is. It is completely free. TradingView, so TRADING, view, VIEW.com. And like I said, it's completely free. So these are the daily candles. Each candle represents 1 day of trading. This orange line here represents the 21-day moving average. The pink line represents the 50-day moving average. If I zoom out here, you can see I have some yellow horizontal lines here that I've identified as areas of support and resistance. I even had some green trend lines that I've been drawing recently. So let's update this because I think we are at a tipping point, like I said at the beginning of the video, and let me explain why. So if I zoom out here, you can see space was pretty much flat, didn't really do anything, trading around $10 or so for the longest time. And then really, just about a year ago, December of last year, is when it really took off. And I mean, when I say took off, it basically went parabolic because as of February of this year, intraday, it was trading as high as $42. And then we all know what happened. The illness happened and we sold off all the way down to a low of about $9, $10 again in the middle of March. And then, you know, we all know what happened again in the market where we had a little bit of a recovery. But as you can see, even though the ETFs like the S&P 500, the Russell 2000, and a lot of stocks have not only come back to pre-illness levels, but have set new all-time highs, space unfortunately has not done either. Because like I said, pre-illness, it was trading as high as $42. After the illness happened, the most recent high is about $27, $28. And that was back on July 23rd. But you can see it's been very choppy ever since the illness occurred, going up and down, up and down. Before July, we were up and down in a channel from about $14, $15 to about $20, $21 for April, May, and June. So for about 3 months, we were kind of trading up and down in that price range. We finally took off all the way up to about $28 in mid to end of July, and then we sold off again. And then again, we kind of traded in a little bit of a channel between roughly $15 and $18 for basically the end of July and pretty much the whole month of August and a little bit of September. But then again, we took off to the moon. Well, not quite to the moon. We took off to space, I should say. getting to a high of about $24, $25, and then we sold off again. And then the month of November, we've actually just been booming right now. As you can see by this green trend line I've drawn, I should probably extend it to incorporate some of the more recent price data. But you can see we did have a little bit of a dip below the trend line, but looks like this past trading week, we are going back up. And as of Wednesday, because of this big green day up over 8.5%, we are now not only back at the level of trend, but above it. I mean, I could draw this trend line a little bit more shallow, something like this, but this was the trend line I drew originally, so I'm going to keep this for now. Now, a couple things that bother me, and the reason why I say this is a tipping point is because what's going to happen tomorrow, and just as a quick reminder, tomorrow is Black Friday, which means it's only a half day of trading. So the markets are going to close at 1 p.m. Eastern time. So there's 3 less hours in the market in terms of normal market hours. Just keep that in mind. So I don't think there will be a lot of price action tomorrow. Maybe a lot of Thanksgiving hangovers. Maybe people just relaxing, still on vacation for a 4-day holiday weekend. But what I'm looking to happen next week, starting Monday, is I'm going to be very curious as to see what happens with space. And I say that because this highest yellow line, meaning the highest level of resistance that I have, is at about $27 and some change. And the reason I drew that is because that was the most recent high back on July 23rd. If I zoom out, the only peak higher than that was pre-illness up into the 40s. So there's not a lot of price data right now between about $27 and some change and all the way up to $40. You can see there's only, we can even count here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's only 7 days of price action in that $20 range of, like I said, about $27 to about $40. So it's really a no man's land. Now, the interesting thing is that will we get a repeat of what happened at the end of July? Meaning, are we going to peak and then sell off pretty hard? Because within July 23rd to about September 23rd, so in the matter of about a month and a half or so, we sold off almost half the value of the stock. So we are at this point again where we kind of peaked around $27, $28. So are we going to actually break through this area of resistance and now just go straight to the moon? I think if the test flight happened, or if a test flight gets scheduled, or a stimulus bill happens, something that propels the whole market to just boom, I think that's possible. But right now, there's no pending news on the horizon for Virgin Galactic, in my opinion. Now, maybe another analyst could upgrade space, and that could be what causes it to break above $28 and stay above $28 and maybe go all the way up to $40 again. But I don't know. Right now, if history is going to repeat itself, we may have another kind of big sell-off all the way back down to $15, $16. And honestly, this is kind of what I'm rooting for, because I don't have a position in space right now, and I do want to get a position in space and kind of go long-term or sell cover calls on it, because space has always had very juicy premiums. So this is what I'm looking for, is something all the way back down here, similar to where we were back in September. And if that happens, I think I'm going to dump a lot into cash grid puts to hopefully get assigned shares on the cheap, or I may just flat out buy stock and then just start selling covered calls on them and collecting that sweet, juicy premium. But I think if I do get shares in the mid-teens, let's say, I'm going to hold these shares long-term. I'm talking like for years. And I do want to sell covered calls on them along the way. And if my covered calls get tested, I'll just keep rolling them out so that my calls don't get exercised. Because I think, and I think a lot of people agree with me, space definitely has the ability to go back up to $40. And I think space could be one of those stocks where you look back maybe 5-10 years from now, where it's trading for a couple $100, and you could be kicking yourself saying, I could have had this thing at $15-20. I could have 5x'd my money. So I don't know, but that's what I'm looking to see right now. The RSI is showing overbought, so that does support a little bit of a sell-off here. Now, am I saying we're going to sell off all the way back to $15? I don't know, but I think we will have a little bit of a sell-off. But take a look what happened, like I said, back in July. We went from about $15 to $27 in about one trading month. And then again, in another trading month, we came all the way back down. So similar things happened today, or I should say this month, where beginning in November to about November 25th. So again, in about a month, we went from about $18 all the way back to $28. So over the next month, are we going to sell back off again? That's what I'm waiting to see what happens. If we break above 28 and hold, and then we just start rising, well, then I think that's not going to happen unless something really bad happens in the market overall. But that's what I'm looking to see for happen for space right now. I do want to open up some positions. I am really anxious, but I want to get in at a good price. As always, if you have any questions or comments, leave them below. It's November 26th as I'm making this video. So there's only 4 days left for you to get in and lock in a low monthly price for our Discord server if you are interested in it. As always, if you have any questions or comments, leave them below. Again, I hope you all have a happy holidays and happy trading.